It's been a week since Russia invaded Ukraine, and the situation remains tense, with many fleeing to safety. Some foreign students attempting to leave the country say they have encountered various challenges in exiting the country, including claims of racism. Nigerian citizens trapped in Ukraine and those who have made it across the neighboring countries, including parents and relatives of Nigerians in Ukraine, have been pleading with government to ensure their safe return. And it appears the federal government is not deaf to their pleas or blind to street demonstrators back home, as beginning today, according to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyema, and the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, that final plans have been made to evacuate Nigerians trapped as a result of the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Joining me in the studio is strategy consultant Dipo Oyewole. Thank you so much for being on TBC Breakfast.
Good morning.
Well, we'll be receiving some of our family members, today, and on and on and on. Is that a relief?
Oh yes, it is. It's quite a relief, and it's a very welcome development, because a lot of us were very worried that it was going to take longer than it will take now, because of the timing of it all, how the whole thing became a very sudden occurrence where evacuations became necessary across the nation of Ukraine. But yes, at this stage, we must commend the Nigerian government, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, NIDCOM, and all the other governmental organizations with how they've been very swift with action. Every day, almost on the hour, they try to release some form of statement informing people where to go, which country to go to, which border to cross through, and all of that. So yes, this is a very welcome development.
Well, speak to the issue where, in widely circulated video on social media, a mother and a child was actually meant to stand up from a seat for another person to sit down. Some say this is because of racism. And these are people who have left the country to, left what they call bad situation to look for greener pastures. So if they come to the country and they're being met with hostilities, how would it be like when they come back to a country where they feel they want to be away from, at least take a break?
Oh, well, I believe that priority now should be about safety. And like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, I think it was yesterday, that a lot of Nigerians are saying that they don't want to return back to Nigeria, which for a lot of people, you get to understand that fact, because even if they do return back to Nigeria, irrespective of whatever conditions we have here, for a lot of them, having to go back definitely will have to be on their own dime. Some of them cannot afford that at this time. Now, whatever happens, or however things shake out with Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, and they have to rebuild and having to open their schools back, however long that will take, them going back will take them a while. Now, it is imperative that both sides get to understand that the priority now is about safety. Are you safe where you are? Either you're saying you want to come back to Nigeria or not. How long can you stay in those neighboring countries? What is your status? We will be booted out after 3 months, saying that maybe your refugee status or whatever status you're claiming has expired. So we have to look at this long term, understanding the fact that we have no idea how long this conflict is going to take between Russia and Ukraine. So the priority now is about safety. You have to be alive first to know if you want to come back to Nigeria to in the first place, or stay in neighboring countries and hoping to move back into Ukraine whenever this is settled.
Are you also on the side of people who said that this evacuation ought to have been done long time before now?
Oh yes.
Instead of being caught in the middle of the bellicose countries, Ukraine and Russia, because Putin has actually signposted that he was going to invade Ukraine.
Oh yes. We started this conversation last week where a lot of us said that this ought to have happened a lot earlier before now. And even if they weren't going to get people out of the country, we expected that some form of logistics would have been put on ground, saying that they are contingencies. So in case anything happens, they are activated immediately, not after the missiles were flying and then bombs were all over the place, saying that we should have gotten it done. But we're here now, and they seem to be very up and about it. So I would say that would give them some kudos.
But we could see that the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, is really a tough man at this time, as so many people have actually looked at him. But as the two countries resume talks, what cards do you think these warring countries will be putting to the table? The potential exit strategy from this war.
Okay, well, I want to say that Zelensky has put off a lot of fortitude so far. They had a conversation a few days ago, and that obviously didn't go very well, because we then saw an increase in military action from Russia. But talking about conversations moving forward, one would be interested to see what the terms of Russia are, because from the last conversation they had, we only got to see the terms from the Ukrainian side. We didn't get to see the terms from the Russian side. So we're very much interested to know what the terms from the Russian side are, to know if there is going to be a place of compromise, because now Ukraine is saying that they must be a part of EU. He's trying to fast track being a part of EU and things like that to ensure that they're safe. So yes, it will be interesting to see what the terms are from both sides of the aisle before we can say that we can accurately predict what's really going to go on.
Well, it looks like Putin thought it was just going to be a walkover for him when he invades Ukraine, and looking at the wall of strength he met, the fact that he was not able to take over the capital just when he thought he would be able to take over it. How would you describe the person of, Zelensky in this case? It was just a comedian who was acting president. Now he became a real-time president, a 44-year-old of a man. So how would you describe his personality in this, in this whole war game?
Yeah, well, like I said, he's shown great fortitude, and it's been quite impressive being able to galvanize a lot of people together. And I see a lot of people go back to his former profession, which I believe that to him today, it has given him some form of credit, because in the industry he was playing before, you need to be able to understand how to communicate with people and galvanize the support of people, which is something that has come into play right now. He's been able to galvanize the entire nation behind him to get their full support, saying that people who want to fight, either you're in the country or from outside the country, come join us, come fight with us. So yes, he's been able to do that, but I don't also believe that Putin thought that maybe he would be able to take the capital in 2 days. No, but I believe that it is a long game, and we're interested to see how this whole thing shakes out.
Just less than 2 minutes for us to end this conversation, but now look at it from the fact that we've got Nigerians who are out there coming back home. We're happy to receive them one after the other. How does this speak about a nation, where they're coming from, and you see the citizens coming together to stand up for their own country, to put their feet to the ground, to face their enemy? So if these Nigerians come back to this country, what would you like to tell them in terms of supporting their own countries against external aggression?
Oh, well, talking to Nigerians. So we need to understand the fact that the issue with Ukraine today is they are being united by a common goal. That is there. So the common objective is very clear. We don't want to be dominated. We don't want to have our nation destroyed. It is our home. Now, bringing it back to Nigeria, we've always asked, what is Nigerian dream? It's the equivalent. What is the common goal that unites us as a people? Now, that for us is something that we have asked the leadership of this country time and time again, year in, year out, to help us define, to help us chart a course, because that is what leaders do. But so far, we haven't been able to see that. Personally, I think that they should prioritize being safe, coming back, surviving, see how they can thrive, pending the time when they go back to Ukraine. That would be my advice to them.
Well, we'll continue to monitor this development as it goes. We can't wait to receive some of our family members who are out there. Strategy consultant Dick Bowie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.